And so is life. This is what life is. You wake up, it's the same things every day. I wake up, and this is actually not new, but yet another 10.0 leak. This one being named Shadows over Azeroth. Ooh. Villain, Sibelian. And for people who don't remember Sibelian, it's this dude right here. You find him in Outland. Lord of the Black Dragons in Outland. You find him in Blade Edge Mountain. You can remember that. I mean, I don't know a lot of people who actually went to Blade Edge simply because it was annoying. I think I tried to, but then I'm like, okay, I don't want to quest here anymore. But yeah, Baron Sablemane. So yeah, that's who they're talking about. Story, a pre-patch. Ooh. Players and other characters that came back from Shadowlands are invited to a party with Rathian. I'm bringing the beer and the bitches. Rathian, in a private conversation between him, Anduin, and the player, talks about sharing a discovery that he made now that things are cooling down. Parties crashed by a void-corrupted civilian, possibly mind-controlled, possibly gone mad. Like Deathwing. We're just going to pretend like this is real. Until we get to something that just clearly is not making any sense. Who takes over the Black Rocks Fire with the help of the Infinite Dragons? We know they're still up to stuff. Everyone escapes and regroups in Shadowforge City. Rathian is injured and needs time to recover. Opening cinematics. Belian uses Nefarian's lab to resurrect Malygos. I mean, I would like to see Malygos. He was cool. But he was a bit crazy, you know, but as much as I love Kalik, it would be cool to see Malygos. I mean, if we did it with Onyxia and, you know, Farian, I would really like to see one of these dragons brought back. Especially huge lore. I mean, because Malygos was one of the ones who helped stop Galakron. So he's pretty old, pretty important to the story. Expansion proper. A mysterious blast of magic seen off the coast of Wealth the Lost gives back the dragon aspects their power, and the main story consists of succession crisis of the Black Dragonflight, with Rathian and Sibelian competing on becoming the new Black Aspect. Well, technically, since Sibelian's been like Outland this whole time, he really doesn't have any claim to it. So Rathian recruits the players Anduin in the Explorers League and the Reliquary to do some archaeology on the Dragon Isle, of course, and find the heart of the first whelp, a tiny gem that can channel the nature magic of all creatures, including wild gods and loads of Azeroth, into the one who consumes it. Also have to enlarge it for you guys so you can see it better. But no, all while Sibelian is trying to resurrect Galakron as a chromatic dragon. Now that would be cool. I've been wanting to see Galakron for ages. We have all these cool events that took place in Azeroth's past, but seeing the Dragonflights in Tyr fighting Galakron would be amazing. This dude, Galakron, was massive, and he ate other dragons, and then he could like spit them back out as zombie dragons. The dude was insane, and had he not been taken out by the dragon, you know, the Dragonflights and Tyr, he could have roamed the cosmos and just ate, destroyed, and just kept resurrecting all these fucking things as zombies. So the dude was really fucking powerful. and because he like had this appetite that just could never be, satisfied. So he just kept eating and eating and eating, and suddenly he's, I mean, Galakron's rest and um oh my god. Actually, let me before so Galakron, for what he looks like, because some people don't know what Galakron looks like to begin with. So as I'm talking, like, all these other thoughts are going through my fucking head. So hold on. All right, so Galakron is this badass looking motherfucker right here, and in Hearthstone, I think he's got different forms. If I remember, he's got like based on each one of the aspects, I think, and then he's got like a void form. It's pretty cool. But yeah, this is a dude. So we have all the originals. So we've got Alexstrasza. This was them in their proto form before they were given the gift of, life and not really life, but they were given immense intellect and stuff like that. And then they become the dragons we know today. Alexstrasza, Malygos, Dormu. We got Neltharion or Deathwing right there. He's Sarah. So, but yeah, even Keeper Tyr had to help fight this guy, and he got his hand bitten off. So this dude was incredibly strong. So I've always wanted to see. I mean, imagine playing a dungeon where you're helping these dragons who we know in the future. We're helping them fight this thing. We know they win. So our interference is not going to cause much difference. I mean, we've taken Titans down, so there'd be no reason why we couldn't take down Galakron. But to be in a dungeon or raid or something, to see that kind of event, seeing Galakron's model, that'd be so fucking cool. And a chromatic, that would be even better. That's something that Neltharion was doing, and he's made plenty of chromatic dragons. But no, it really didn't come much after Neltharion. The chromatic dragons were just kind of forgotten. Neltharion and Void Magic, but yeah, Galakron, I would love to see him. There are also other problems. There are also other problems the other dragon aspects have, like Chromie, trying to find out why and how the Infinites are working with Sibelian and Dormu, becoming of no help whatsoever. I'm guessing they meant Kalik. Yeah, Kalik dealing with Malygos and maybe bringing him back to our side. That'd be cool too. I mean, like I said, Malygos was always kind of a jerk. But, well, I mean, you'd have to see his character to understand how he was a jerk. But, I mean, he was. I mean, that's why he was one of the fucking, why he was a raid boss. He was just a jerk. Malygos, who ran back to our side, Sarah finding some terrible revelations about Elune and fighting off void corruption herself. And Alexstrasza seemingly acting completely oblivious to everything that is happening. I mean, she sits atop her tower in Dragonblade. I don't know how she really knows what's going on in the world, apart from what everyone else tells her. But then they could choose not to tell her. And on top of that, Moira is getting tired of dragons in her mountain, so she's plotting to maybe get rid of the black dragons for good. Hey, Moira! Haven't heard that name in a while. Just another character that no one remembers or cares about. New continent, the Dragon Isles, will only have 3 zones like BFA continents. A Green Hill Zone? Really? A Green Hill Zone. There you meet a small blue hedgehog who claims to be the fastest thing alive. where Rathion and his supporters have gathered, filled with dig sites and shrines and dragon statues. A charred zone where Sibelian and his supporters have gathered, with new chromatic and twilight horrors, and animated dragon statues as well as madness stones, which cover every hour between, showing the past, present, and future of the section of the zone they surround. I mean, it seems to be a thing on here with all these leaks where they kind of imply that time flows differently on the Dragon Isles, and I've said that, you know, with the way it seems, because I think it is possible. It wouldn't be the first time we've seen an area where time just doesn't work the same. Like I said, the Timeless Isles is timeless because time doesn't pass. I mean, you have the main part of Pandaria where time flows, but then you have the Timeless Isle where time never flows. So, to have a Dragon Isle where time may go slower or go faster would be really interesting, and I think they could add a lot of cool gameplay elements to that. But it's Blizzard, so they would never do it. Around the third zone is a giant temple sunken into the ground, and you can enter and exit at the bottom into a section of Azul Naru. Okay. Flying the first two zones is available at launch notes. I mean, unless it's going to be like a fucking Northrend thing, where it's like you need it to fly. You know, you need to fly to get around. Otherwise, you're going to have a whole lot of trouble. The continent is heavily inspired by Iceland. The architecture of the ruins on the island consists of mounds, pyramids, and tents, all being made with petrified logs and giant bone splinters. The structures are heavily angular and slanted, and the giant temple is inspired by the Icelandish name that I'm not even going to try to bother pronouncing. New race, Draconoid. New to race in like Pandaren, starts at level 60, and only available after completing the pre-packed party quest line. New class, Chosen. The race is unlocked in the pre-patch, while the class is unlocked during the story. The Explorers League discovers a temple of the Dragon Isles, where, in later chapter, Rathion and the player find out that Moira has been bringing test subjects from across Azeroth and using a special chamber in the temple to imbue them with ancient dragon magic. Oh, and turning them into Chosen. Rathion is outraged and shuts down the operation, but the citizens of Azeroth who have already become Chosen are brought by the player back to Stormwind Orgrimmar. When you make a new Chosen character, your actual character you play this quest will become with becomes the quest giver. That'd actually be pretty cool, seeing our model as like the quest giver. But quest giver that gets you out of the intro experience. The class itself will have 3 specs: life, fire, and frost. Wow, really in depth there. The class in general is all about teleporting rapidly around a target to position yourself at different ranges, which makes different spells available. I mean, I also like that idea, but we already kind of have that, you know. Well, some. I mean, some of them you kind of have to be ranged. Some of them, life is a healing spec. You don't say. Which does burst healing in melee range and weaker healing at ranged. Fire is all about a damaging shield, which you can make explode, knocking you and your enemies about everywhere, with your shield dealing damage passively while enemies are in melee range, with diminishing returns and recharging while no enemies are in melee range. Frost is all about debuffs, debuffs that last less than further you are from the target, and all other attacks that hit harder and further you are from the target. No, go back down. Where are we? New progression type, kinship. Kinship will be a mix between Renown and Legion artifact power. You get kinship from PvP, dungeons, raids, daily quests, exploration, solo quests, and pretty much anything you do in the new expansion. Gaining kinship levels unlocks campaign chapters, increased stats, new abilities, new passive mounts, gear, and dungeon, and raid difficulties. The entire main story of the expansion will be in the single-player campaign, with raids and dungeons being entirely self-contained side stories. Each campaign chapter will have an extra hard quest at the end, which can range from a Mage Tower style boss, a scenario like the many deaths of Chromie, which was actually really fun, or a variety of more difficult quests that can be done as soon as you get them with enough skill, or can be brute forced by grinding more kinship. That's kind of like it was with Chromie. It was like when you first started, it's super hard because you haven't leveled up and you know your level at the time. But now if you go back now, all these bosses that were, you know, killing you, you're just like dead. So it's also a great place to make gold, because you're killing all these and they give you those the boxes, or not boxes, the pouches, and they have a chance of dropping the pets, gold, and stuff like that. So it's really cool. I still go back when I would play. I go back from time to time to do it because it's a good source of money. Many of these quests are class-specific challenges. Some that require a specific ability that is unlocked at a certain level of kinship. Gear will no longer have stats in SOA and will only have passives or other abilities. A single stat called Inner Fire that just increases the benefit from your kinship level by a percentage based on how much inner fire you have. A will of fire. Ugh. This is just so you can take off all your gear and be just as powerful as in full gear. All older gear will only work while in Chromie time. Okay, so they're saying that while you're doing this expansion, your gear that would normally have stats don't have stats, just like this passive ability or whatever. Chromie time. Now stop. Chromie time. No, pizza time. Chromie time. It's now just on off and it's now just on off and it's automatically on all new non-Dracnoid, non-boosted characters created and can be turned off at any time. All older gear, including the tier gear, legendaries, and legion artifacts, will have their stats, abilities, and talent trees restored. It can be used at any time, but if you are level 60, you will not gain experience. You will not gain experience. If you are above level 60, Chromie time will de-level you to level 60, and your kinship and other mechanics or abilities from SOA will be disabled. Completing achievements while in Chromie time will grant you quite a good amount of kinship to incentivize players to go back and experience older expansions on their own time, and maybe even play parts of older expansions they have missed the first time around on their main characters. While in Chromie time, you can also take part in quest chains that have otherwise been removed. What? Like the legendary chains of MOP and Unwad, and the Battle of Undercity and Wrath of Lich King. A new mount will have Chromie riding with you whenever you summon it. What? Okay, so in order to do this Chromie time, to experience quests that have been taken out of the game, that would mean that Blizzard has to put those quests back in the game, but only in Chromie time. Okay. Two new cities, Blackrock Hold Alliance and Andral Ford. These two cities will have Zadormi in them. That will be and all in one phasing mechanic. God, I really do hate this fucking color, like this fucking cream looking color, beige. It's no. Not to mention it's 8 o'clock in the morning, so my eyes are just the all in one phasing mechanic. It will allow you to switch the world to any phase from Cataclysm to SOA. Since the story will take the player all over Azeroth and Outland, and a lot of events will change the layout of inhabitants of these zones, Sidormi will allow you to browse through and choose to set the whole world back to any state of the world that you have unlocked from any patch of any expansion. No. At the rate things are going, release is in Q1 of 2023. It's just hopeful. Even while anticipating crunch, I don't see how it can be released by then unless stuff gets cut and placed in a later patch. Most likely, everything in Outland, since it involves multiple zones, being remade and being taken over by the Void. Alternatively, I can see it being cut completely and being saved for 11.0 to be done properly. Nice save there, buddy. Then maybe even Q4 for 2022 release if possible. Nice save. It's like, oh well, they might have to stop it. This may not even happen. So when it doesn't happen, they can say, but remember, I said it might not happen, and it may not be till 11.0 that happens. Nice save there, buddy boy. So, I mean, there are some things that sound interesting. Like I said, fighting Galakron, I would love to see. But the Dracnoid and Chosen fucking stupid. This whole fucking Chromie time sounds stupid. It's like, oh yeah, it lets you experience quests that have been taken out. Well, if they've been taken out, they're no longer in the code. Therefore, you can't do them, which means Blizzard would have to put it back into the game. Yeah, it just sound no. I mean, good job not saying, you know. Yeah, good job for not saying, oh, we're gonna have Tinkers or Necromancers or Dark Rangers but no. It's stupid. It's stupid. But hey, maybe some people like this idea. Anyways, what do you think? Let me know. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.